But here it is. One of the grooviest heroes of the 1950s, Marvel Boy.
Charlie?
And yes, it's Justice League of America, but who's on the cover? The Justice Society.
Recording has started.
Oh, shoot.
This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code SOUTHGATE to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroups.com.
This is Luca Birch, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
This is comics illustrator Ron Friends, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here, the line. My ceiling.
Oh, this is a world.
So nothing is off limits.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Capes and Lunatics. I am Phil. Got a full house tonight. We got a twofer in New Jersey tonight, but speaking to you right now is in New Jersey.
Oh, Charlie, the Professor Essa. I wasn't quite sure when you said twofer. I wasn't thinking, who else is in New Jersey? It's like, oh, Tristan is in New Jersey.
Yeah. And coming to you live from Florida, it is.
Hey y'all, it's a little Hellfire.
And look who's back again in Ohio.
It's Tyler from Ohio. Coming at you from the living room of power.
Anyway, so get into this. Want to waste anyone's time?
Trying to figure this out.
So DC's still going to go forward with their new distribution method. Marvel's waiting for the quarantine to end.
Marvel is just biding their time.
But they're waiting.
I find it interesting that arguably, according to Inside Woman, Lilith Hellfire, DC was the one who caused the whole mess with Diamond, and DC is the first to bolt. Well, that's what Lilith told us last week.
And the plot thickens.
Yeah. Trying to get on the action? Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. Is DC going their usual method where they're just like, oh, we need money now, and Marvel's like, you know what, we have a plan.
It's not about the money.
Oh yeah,
it's about something that for a change. I feel like AT&T is about to just change the game right now. Marvel doesn't want to join that bandwagon. They can sit on the sidelines. It's fine.
Well, in Marvel's defense, they were once in a very bad relationship where the distribution method was owned by DC, and they kind of got short shrift from it. So there may be some generational fear of putting yourself too much in the hands of DC. I think that maybe Marvel's trying to see, well, what are our options outside of whatever DC has set up? Or how can we make sure this
is the thing. It's not gonna work if everybody does their own thing. That'll collapse on itself, and they'll go crawling back to Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, if we want to end Diamond, sometimes you gotta have you gotta think about it.
Okay, Tristan, what do you want to tell me real quick?
I think the official word is Marvel's like, we don't want to screw over the stores and stuff, but I don't know if that's just their excuse.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people thought it was Venom, so some people added the symbiote look to him.
Yes. So he was referring to Night Monkey, and that many people, myself included, thought that was going to be, Agent Venom costume, and that people have then went in and added the Spider-Man logo to that. So, tentacles to the Night Monkey costume. So. Yes, Tristan also wanted to let Tyler know his camera was sideways. Anyway, sorry about that. Getting back to the story. Tristan, wait until I give you your cue, okay? Okay. Thank you.
I thought I taught you show business, boy.
Yes, well, I thought he was going to add something, and he did, but just on another topic. It's okay. Anyway, back to Diamond and Marvel and DC and the battle. And Lilith, you were saying that, if everyone doesn't jump on, DC's model, then it all collapses.
Well, or throw out another. I think everybody needs to just kind of get together on a conference call and go, hey, which one sounds like the least bit you know what I mean? What's the lesser of the evil?
Yeah, but is the whole thing going to collapse though if everyone does do their own thing? Like say,
I think it would. Honestly, I really think it would.
Well, what I found
maybe
interesting,
have two. You can't have one. I agree with not having one, but you can't have it's like the streaming services. People would get tired of it. You know what I mean?
Well, along those lines, you do notice that when DC set it up, they're working with two different vendors.
Exactly.
So that you have an East Coast vendor and a West Coast vendor, and of course, where in between is all the vendors? And are we breaking it by Mississippi? Are we breaking it by population? And maybe we're going to let this guy sneak in a little on his end, and we'll let that guy sneak in a little on that end, and we're going to play both sides against the middle, which is fine. In alternate comics, I want to say friends of the show, but no one's ever been on here.
If Phil would ever get to reading those books.
Yes, but they have said they are totally down with the DC model, which is great. Although, interestingly enough, even when Diamond pulled up, they said, so I don't even think they were distributed by Diamond.
Has their own alternative methods of delivery, though. So
yeah, so I think they were never even in Diamond's pocket. So so it seems interesting that they went right into the new DC model, suggesting their support for it, and also maybe that's a sign that other indies are going to go in. Although we did have one indie recently come out very strong, and I'm trying to remember which one it was, saying they're siding with Valiant.
Wasn't it Ultimate or whatever?
They were siding with Diamond. What was that? I'm trying to remember the name of that.
Was it Boom?
Was it Boom? Maybe it was Boom. Yeah, but someone was like, we are sticking by Diamond. We want to keep with the Diamond model.
Isn't Boom in the back pockets of Marvel at this point?
Maybe.
Are they? No, Boom does licensed property.
Can you hear me?
Or was it IDW?
Yeah, it was IDW, I think. I think it was IDW. That sounds familiar.
Can you hear me?
Let me see here.
Yeah. Well.
Sorry. We're all looking it up to see who it was. Yeah, IDW.
I mean, seriously, that was my question. Would the whole system fall apart if everyone had like their own distribution? Like, hey, if someone says, "Hey, we're going to use Amazon or something to ship our books,"
that doesn't. Well, unless it was Amazon, that's the only way that it would not work out. You know, if everybody just said, "Hey, Amazon, can you come up with something real quick?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was my suggestion from the start. Is because that it surprised me immediately that Amazon. And maybe they are behind the scenes. That's always the thing, is we don't really know, except for
Bezos is about as a loudmouth as Trump is. So if he was doing something, we know.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, it is. But yeah, I thought that I immediately thought, well, shouldn't Amazon jump on this? They've already got Comixology. They already have it.
They're too busy trying to take over our United States postal system to privatize it.
They also might be a little too busy just getting toilet paper to everybody.
Well, that's what I was
maybe
felt
we didn't want to take on this extra burden.
Could like Disney or somebody or like Marvel or DC just like say, you know what, we're going to have a central printing plant or whatever, and we'll just use FedEx or the U.S. Postal Service. I'm sure someone would love that business.
Exactly.
Well, now that you mention it, it's on the charger right there.
I mean, especially the U.S. Postal Service. I'd be like, oh,
they need it.
What I was going to say, Phil, is that, Disney has a lot of other things they print and other things that they distribute that are not necessarily distributed through Diamond. It may be that Disney is sitting there saying, well, why are we paying someone else to handle our books?
Oh, yeah, I could see Disney having their own thing, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I could see,
start their own Amazon just for everything Disney.
Oh, well, yeah, that's certainly although I do dislike the 3 services. I don't think that's a good plan.
Exactly.
What?
I am so
Like I've
against that
said.
now.
Like Lilith said about the streaming services, like it's just going to get confusing because we're entering the next level of the streaming wars.
Well, especially
Yeah.
now with everyone stuck at home, I think it's going to be survival of the fittest. We'll see which
Budgets get slashed.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And, the problem is that people don't like to switch apps. And I know this because I don't like to switch apps, and I'm people. And
I must push a button. Oh.
no. Well, first off, you can't just getting out of apps are always hard. They try to hide the exit because they don't want you to leave. It's like a casino.
Man, I cannot figure out these applications.
No, but people don't like to jump. I'm going to say people don't like to jump between applications.
Old people don't. Millennials have no loyalty.
No, it's not about loyalty. It's about laziness. Do not tell me millennials are any lazier than any other group of people in this country, Lilith.
I'm telling you, all I'm saying is I've got Uber Eats, I've got Grubhub, I've got Post, I got them all. That's all I'm saying. I have no problem.
Yeah, but those are all... See, but the thing is, Lilith, those are all things that you're taking at one purchase at a time. If you have a TV that is on constant run, as, most Americans do...
Charlie just wants everything in one,
Well, it's not even that.
This is the problem. This is how we get Skynet. Skynet right now, but it's fine. I'm telling you.
You never even asked whether
you're
or not...
contributing to it.
All I'm saying, Lilith, is you don't know how quickly things got delivered under Skynet. You assume Skynet was bad.
Skynet made the trains run on time.
Look,
I don't take the train, so I don't care.
The problem with Skynet was someone put Skynet in charge of the military. And that's not a good use for Skynet. Skynet would be so... there's a universe where someone said, no, don't put Skynet in charge of the military, but let them deliver stuff. Let's put them in charge of, coordinating shipping. Skynet running Amazon sounds like a great idea. Very centralized organization, AI trying to make our lives better, rather than saying, my job is to prevent the danger to humanity. The greatest danger to humanity is humanity. Which, first off, is a logic loop in and of itself. And actually, truth be told, the thing with Skynet was they didn't... The only reason Skynet attacked humans was because humans were trying to pull the plug on Skynet. Yeah, exactly. And they just should have never given... they should have never given Skynet the launch codes. It's really not that hard.
Well, I mean, Lilith has a point. We are in the year of the apocalypse. Do we really want to give the computers more power?
I'm not saying the computers more powerful. I'm saying the corporations, Philip.
Well, we were living in continuum. If we get a corporate Congress, which technically we probably still are, or we already have,
Well, the Lilith people will never allow that to happen, Lilith. That's one thing you can rest assured of.
And then the machines gain sentience. Who am I?
Well, corporations are... Just saying. Just saying.
I'm just saying,
Anybody think about RoboCop?
RoboCop? Oh.
Yeah.
IPC, man.
You know where OCP owned the police?
Yes.
Owned the city of Detroit?
Yeah.
A corporatized company bought out everything.
Few people know that's actually a documentary.
I understand that reference.
Wow.
We love our OCP in Detroit. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. I mean, the idea of a corporation owning a city is not that outlandish because,
it happens.
It has happened. No, I mean, literally, there was a thing. There is a thing.
Factory towns.
Yeah, factory towns where literally
you get paid by the company money equivalent.
Exactly.
In the Depression?
Yeah. No.
Grapes of Wrath?
No. Throughout much of history, in fact, if you
one feudal state to the next.
Have you ever heard of the company store? 16 tons.
Exactly. It's a real thing.
It is a very real thing, and
we're still breathing, so I assumed you were okay.
It's honestly a real corporate feudalism is our modern society. Even if we're no longer working at a company store, so much of our lives are bound to what our employer allows us that, we are in a feudalistic state. And, that's about to fall apart,
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I know. I just, I hate the idea of a reign of terror, but man, people just keep wanting other people to eat cake. And it's like, haven't you seen this movie?
You know what they say. We're doomed to repeat it. We're doomed to repeat
it's
it,
like,
fellas.
man, it's even if you only saw the Vincent Price Mask of the Red Death, which is not the original book, the moral's the same.
Or you read Contagion. Am I right, Philip?
Because you'd be in jail.
I'm just saying. Anyway, but Diamond, yes.
Our Contagion episode, Lilith, the gift that keeps on giving. Right, Ray?
Batman.
Contagion. Get it, Ray? The joke was on you.
Batman.
Is he feeling better, by the way?
Hey, Lilith.
While we're joking.
Lilith. He says he's feeling better. But hey, Lilith, listen to this.
Batman.
I got Mr.
He's
Pat.
going to kill you.
Batman.
With his
the big bazooka.
Batman does have a big bazooka.
Ray is going to hurt you. He's going to take a trip.
Just ask Captain.
Oh!
Charlie
made a Batman damn joke. Did you hear that?
Oh.
He said Batman does have a
We did it, Phil. We did it. Corrupting
This is
influence.
this is truly the apocalypse.
I make dirty
Apocalypse.
jokes too.
That's
the
true.
mustache. It brings it out in me. Let's see. You get the John Holmes mustache.
I said, Diamond, and any new change is better than what we have. That's all that I say. I can wait for my books. If
Yeah.
Just sort your stuff out. Sort it
seems
out.
like everybody's waiting everyone's waiting except for DC.
Yeah.
They're putting out a limited amount of books the next couple of weeks, I guess.
Well, I think maybe everyone's waiting to see how DC does it, and DC's waiting to see how DC does it, because their first week, it's actually just reprints, if I'm not mistaken. They're not like new books. They're just.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and then maybe the week after, so they're going to see how their reprints sell. And again, are the stores going to be open to receive them, to sell them? And that is like the biggest problem with this is, can the stores sell the books once they get them? Because even if they can deliver them, because Phil and I's store, they're closed, but they're taking inventory. They're in their place of work.
Yeah.
They're working around it, and as long as the cops don't ask, nobody bothers.
Well, now that you mentioned my store, that's an interesting point, because my guy said Marvel and DC contacted him and say, hey, do you want the books? Are you going to be open to sell the books and stuff? So they both asked if he could receive books, but only he's going to be shipping. So was Marvel considering it?
Well, I mean, and again, that could be that Marvel may have their own distribution plan already in place. That's the thing. Like I said, it's entirely possible Disney has trucks.
Oh, how funny would that be if Marvel hasn't said a word, but then like the day before DC's books ship, Marvel ships their books to the store?
Well, exactly. Well, once they see the stores are open, then Marvel's there with the books. So there you go.
But isn't that what Disney does? Is keep everything quiet until they actually?
Well, yeah. They're very good at that. That is very much their shtick, and that's they only when they only let Mark Ruffalo.
They have to be careful with how that looks to the public too, though.
Well, yeah.
Optics.
Well, they're having their own problem with is that Roy Disney's daughter? Yeah, that's Disney's. That's Walt's niece, who feels that Disney is not taking care of their people properly, which. I don't know. It's a lot to ask of any company to maintain. I think that they maintained people as best they could. From what I understood, they were maintaining health benefits and they were furloughed so they could get unemployment. And California does have a working social safety net. It's not like they furloughed people in Mississippi, or Florida. God help you. Voted. No. Voted the. Not what I read. Florida has the worst unemployment system in the country.
Let them go to the beach, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm just saying they have from what I've read, they have the
worked for all
worst
my
unemployment system.
Is all that I'm saying. And that was like 275 of them. So
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm just saying I heard they have a very bad unemployment system in Florida to try and navigate. And that, of course, is the biggest problem with the whole system is that if you don't have a solid social safety net in your state already, any money the federal government gives can't get to people. You know, and that's like the biggest problem. Like the only thing the federal government can do is those $1,200 checks. Because those are the only thing that the federal government can actually say, here's money. But they don't know who needs money or how to get money because that has to be something that's handled on the state level because the states need to have a proper social safety net in the first place. If you don't have a proper social safety net, then the state can't do anything with the funds. So.
Oh, but yeah, Marvel. I just saw the article. Marvel did put out a statement saying they're not shipping books next week.
So. Oh yeah, no, I know that they said that they're not shipping any books. They just haven't weighed in on the Diamond debate.
And it is Boom. It is Boom that said they restate their allegiance to comic shops.
Yes, there we go. Well, to Diamond.
I guess, but I guess in their open letter they mentioned the comic shops, you know.
Yeah, and again, there is this argument that is made that, you know, it doesn't do any good to ship books to a closed store or to burden a company with books they can't sell.
Mm-hmm.
And that was arguably Diamond's original argument when they shut down was that, look, if we send out these books to a store that can't open, you know, they lose money. It's actually just costing them money, and then we got to pick up the books that they want to return. You know, basically, it was just going to be a frivolous effort that was going to cost the comic shops money. You know, and that it was more cost effective to put the brakes on it than to continue it because that was their determination. At least that's what they said. You know.
That's right.
Okay.
The world we live in.
Yeah.
2020, I want my refund, damn it.
Oh, no refunds. It's a one-way trip. You got to go all the way to the end of the ride. It's not a roller coaster. It doesn't loop back, which in this case, we're going to say, okay.
We're kind of stuck in the middle waiting on the fire people to come get us out, actually.
Oh, man. It's only April. That's the scary thing.
Out of the gooch.
Out of the gooch.
Just waiting on Godzilla. Just come take me. Waiting for the asteroid, something. Just something.
I was told there was no hate on Uranus.
Whoa!
That's deep.
That's a quantum
noise.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there are so many Uranus. This is definitely my pick of the week, by the way.
That's what we were talking about Tuesday. It's like we were reading some of those early Marvel Boy appearances in that reprint issue. I swear, like every other panel, they had to mention Uranus.
Yes, Uranus was a big deal, man.
It was popular in the 50s. Yeah, Uranus was popular.
Did they just discover it? Like what? Or did they just
discover Uranus? Well, it wasn't that long. Uranus, I think, was... Well, Pluto was the... But, you know, because Uranus is the last big planet. Because really, it's actually the 8th planet. Because Pluto, of course, as we all know, ain't nothing but a dog now.
How?
No, it's not. They reinstated it because people.
Who reinstated it? Did Donald Trump reinstate it? Because that doesn't count.
No, it's been years. It's been years since they reinstated it back as a planet.
I don't know, man. I want to see who's calling it a planet. I want to check their credentials because the downgrading was not done lightly, and to re-upgrade it. Now, I will say, I always thought
November 2019.
It has a moon. For everybody.
In the words of my man Gus, did you hear about Pluto? Messed up.
For everybody.
Yep, Pluto's still a planet as of reinstated as a planet back in like November of 2019. So.
Okay, so it's a Trump administration political ploy. I'll make Pluto a planet again.
It's the planetary science of whatever, blah, blah, blah. Nothing to do with
Yeah. What university are they affiliated with?
Science and Trump? You can't say that in the same sentence. What's wrong with you,
They
Charlie?
pretend to like science when, it's Vita rays that you can shoot. I'm just saying.
Oh, don't even get
Nobody tell him.
Don't even get me started on that. I mean, yeah, he shouldn't say stuff like that. But meanwhile, there's idiots don't believe anyone. Oh, you can drink bleach, okay?
Tell you, the man is the Hermes Conrad of low bars, because
You keep Hermes, you keep his name out of your mouth in regards to
he's
Trump
the
as well.
Barbados Slim of getting under a
Thank you.
Fair
all real
enough.
Futurama fans are like, that's right. That's more like it.
I'm just saying, it's as I've said, when the guy drank the cleaner, and everyone's and his wife said Trump told him to, and his supporters said no, Trump never said drink fish tank cleaner. He would never say. No one would say something that stupid. And Trump said, "Hold my Diet Coke."
Hold my Big Mac, more like it, but
nobody drinks it with. He eats it with a Diet
Coke.
Coke.
President anymore.
I actually do know way too much about the stuff he eats. But yes, he does drink Diet Coke. Drinks a lot of Diet Coke. But he does eat like 6 cheeseburgers, so.
I mean, with the Diet Coke, you can eat anything you want now. Wasn't that the whole gimmick of Diet Coke?
Apparently, that's what he believes, so yeah. Poor Tyler.
So
I thought we were going to talk about comic books.
Before we get to all right, before we get to comics, sorry,
Tristan
Charlie,
wants to give his review. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, he'll be first up. So yeah, totally prepared. But Tyler,
Be
Lilith,
prepared.
did you watch? Well, Lilith, I know you're not watching Flash now. Tyler, did you watch Flash on Tuesday?
I have not, because if you want to talk real quick conspiracy, ever since this whole COVID stuff started, our antenna doesn't pick up anything but like 2 channels. And I've even tried buying different antennas because we don't have
over the air
cable.
antenna?
Yeah, I bought the cheapest over the air antennas possible, and they work fine. And now all of a sudden, I don't get anything.
They want your
I bought an
streaming
expensive
money.
one. I bought an expensive one, and we pick up just 2 channels.
Okay.
And then I haven't watched it yet because Ragdoll is kind of creepy towards the kids.
True. Yeah, it was a Ragdoll.
So Janine and I haven't got a chance to watch it yet.
Okay, Tyler. As a fellow over-the-air broadcast recipient,
over the air.
when was the last time you reset your channels? So what you should do? Okay, so if you're up that late on a clear night at about 2 a.m, go into the settings where it says auto channel whatever over the air, and it like tests all your channels.
Yeah.
You probably, because they do frequency hop regularly. Usually they're supposed to announce it on the channels, but sometimes they don't. So it could just be that all of your settings are set to bad channels.
Okay.
But I will say, in your defense, also recently, my ability to pick up channels has completely died.
They want that sweet, sweet streaming money, I'm telling y'all.
Well, it has a lot to do with atmospheric problems. Every time it gets overcast, like right now, if it gets a little cloudy.
Now? The signal can't get through. The air's too clear now?
No, once the air's clear, the signal will get through. But when it gets overcast, once you get clouds or rain, suddenly it stops working. And my TV has this weird quirk where if there's an interruption in the signal, it turns itself off. So that's not fun. So anytime that you get like a little bit of digital scrubbing, it'll shut off. Now
that global warming has slowed down, now the signals aren't getting through.
Yeah, so that's my recommendation to you and anyone else that's having problems is wait till a clear night, go to the reset, and like I said, it's on a clear night. Does your antenna have a signal booster?
The one I currently have, yes.
You have to plug it into the wall. Okay, that's
I bought new ones.
Yeah, so that's good, and that should help. And then from there, you should be able to, like I said, on a clear night, do the channel resets, see if any of them come back. That's my recommendation. Sorry, I'm used to.
I'm game.
I'm doing a lot of tech support right now because we're in open enrollment. So
Yep. Oh yeah. You better hope school goes back, Tyler. You're gonna be teaching them over the computer.
Yes.
All right. Yes, but yeah, Flash was good. I'm just wondering how they're gonna end the season because they cut it by like I think 2 episodes. So
Yeah, it's supposed to end like
I hope it's not just like a very abrupt ending. But it looks like they're finally getting Iris out of that mirror dimension next week. Thank God. That's been dragging on.
Yeah. I know this season's going to be like 19 episodes or something like
19
that.
or 20, yeah, because they cut it by like 2 or 3 episodes.
Because of where the production was.
Yeah, where they got done filming before everything shut down.
Supergirl's like doing like a jumble. Like they're editing together what they had shot for the finale.
Oh, yeah.
And because they were in the middle of shooting the finale. So they're just going to kind of edit together what they have to make a season end.
I know. I watched.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, last night was the finale of Law and Order SVU. Season 21 finale.
Season 90?
No, season 21. That's all.
Yeah. Because it's a separate. It did a reboot. They did a Crisis on Infinite Law, and only the SVU universe was survived. So.
Oh, I still don't think we mentioned that here, Lilith. Yeah, we ever talked about Christopher Maloney's getting his own SVU or Law and Order spinoff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I'm just gonna say D'Onofrio's was the best. Stop trying.
Well, now I think that's going to be an FBI. He's working with the FBI, if I'm not mistaken. Now.
Well, Maloney, I think it's a New York thing, but it's a different division. I think. Let me see.
Yeah, it wasn't Major Case, and it's not SVU.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was Homicide. So I'm trying to remember what it was. I know it wasn't Bunko. I always want them to do Law and Order Bunko Squad, but they never do that.
I just want Law and Order Ice-T. That's what I want to call it.
I mean, you could get it eventually if Mariska Hargitay would just like chill back in the executive producer slot.
Oh, please. You know how much money she's probably making now? She ain't going nowhere.
Hey, she is the captain now. Okay.
She really is the cat, literally.
She's good. She is good.
That's why I wonder if that's why he got his own spin-off show. Now, did he want to come back? That neither one of them wants to share a show. That now they each get like their own show.
It's like I was on Oz.
All right, the show will report. This is from Variety. The show will reportedly follow Stabler as he heads up the organized crime division.
Oh, the organized crime division. That's right.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean it's a good field.
Be right back.
Gonna
go get my
go.
So
get
that means Happy's done. That's great. Happy was so like I like the comics or whatever, but like trying to watch it in like a TV medium was like headache inducing.
And it's like I tried watching the first 2 or 3 episodes of that, and I guess maybe because I wasn't high or drunk, I couldn't get through it, but.
And you have to be high because I was drunk when I watched it, so I think you have to be high.
I figured.
Yeah. It was just a little crude for my taste, but
Well, that's kind of the point of that comic.
I understand.
It was the Howard Stern of comic books. Okay.
I understand that's the genre. It's just not my genre. It's nothing against it. It looked fun and enjoyable. I'm just saying, it was a little.
I wonder if it just got canceled, or they were like, "Hey, we'll give you a new Law and Order spinoff," and he was like, "Oh, I'm out. See you, Happy."
I think
because it is owned by Universal, so.
And truth be told, I get the feeling Happy was, it's a show that was on
its course.
Yeah,
and I'm sure they probably figured, hey, we're going to get more advertising money out of Christopher Maloney coming back to a Law and Order spinoff than we're going to do from Happy on Sci-Fi.
Yeah,
at 10:00 at night. Yeah,
exactly.
Hey Lilith, just out of curiosity, because I was watching Crossing Jordan the other day when I did have broadcast TV, and Chris Noth was on there. Is Crossing Jordan and Law and Order in the same universe? Do you know? Do you have any idea?
Is it a Dick Wolf show? I always forget to ask if Crossing Jordan is a Dick Wolf show. If it is a Dick Wolf show, then yes, probably.
I mean, it's probably because he was a cop. It was Chris Noth.
But it could have just been Chris Noth being Chris Noth at this point. I mean, he's either Mr. Big or a cop. That's it. That's all the kids got.
There's one way to tell. Was Belzer on it?
No, Belzer hasn't been on that show yet. Though Belzer goes between universes because
Hey, he was on the Flash so the original Flash from 1990.
Oh yeah, the John Wesley Shipp one. Yeah, but he was a reporter. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He wasn't actually as.
He was a crime beat reporter, though. So
he wasn't Munch yet. He wasn't Munch. Yes.
Munch. Yeah, no.
It was an alternate universe where Munch was a crime beat reporter. See, it's not one Munchiverse. It's an infinite Munchiverse.
Oh God, infinite Munchiverse. No. We are truly in the darkest timeline.
For those who don't remember his old HBO special, Two Lone Nuts.
Oh hey, Lilith, are you still watching Legends?
I was actually getting caught up on Legends, and I'm just like, so they went full Constantine, but they didn't bring back Manny? So upset right now. And Astra aged? I'm like, demons age? What is this universe? What is this?
Isn't that one of the perks of hell you don't age?
And then Ray's gone, and I'm just like, he's married to a fairy godmother. What the hell happened?
Okay, first off,
you got him.
When it comes to characters that are not supposed to age, it's because they're played by humanoid actors who do age. So
it didn't have to be this way, and she shouldn't even be a demon technically.
Yeah, no, it's a different actress, Charlie. So this isn't it? It's a different actress. I mean, she was just
a child. It's a different actress.
Yeah. It didn't have to have this big time jump, Charlie, because it's a different.
Well, then maybe her soul is expressing herself in this form now. Because why should her form be consistent?
Do demons have souls, or do they collect? I don't know what the rules are anymore.
I don't know, Will.
They're playing loosey goosey. This is more.
Well,
where the hell?
As Tristan and I were talking about why Carnage has the jagged parts on the outside of his mouth, whereas Venom has actual humanoid teeth, that the form that the symbiote takes relates to the inner self-imagining of the being bearing the symbiote. Much in the same way that gamma radiation will actually express your inward self as an outer being. Likewise, I'm sure demons do have a similar way that they present themselves when they're not wearing their skin suits like Michael. What's your question, Tristan?
Oh, did someone finally get caught up on Supernatural, or is that the only Supernatural reference you have?
I have no idea I've never seen anything about Supernatural. What I reference to Supernatural?
No, they mentioned. Did you watch this week's episode of Legends? They did reference it, Lo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Well,
supposedly they have you'll see the in-universe excuse for why Supernatural the last season's delayed, and it's not Corona.
Not all of them are.
Oh my.
Oh, what did she? Oh, I forget. Sarah. Did she say? I think she said Dean is her hall pass.
Oh, okay.
So
not really.
Like Dean Winchester or Jensen Ackles?
Yeah, because she's. I think was she talking to?
Zari? Are you talking about Zari says that?
No. Sarah says that. Sarah says that to Charlie.
Really?
I think because she's telling her about Supernatural because they land on this where they're shooting. Spoilers and wait, what's Supernatural?
Like I've been too devastated since Ray left. I'm just like, what? I mean, I knew it was coming, but it was actually a really cute little episode, and I was like, the nerve to be the best episode so far this season, and he's leaving. The nerve of it, because they were like, Damien Dark's coming back. I'm like, well, there's that. Good for Neil.
All right, and here's my other question. Why is Mick just doing this kid thing now, or he really doesn't go on missions? I mean, is there a reason why Heatwave's not doing anything besides just
because he's getting ready to get the boot too? So why even work hard if you don't have to?
Maybe.
Or maybe he hurt his back. Who knows? Dominic Purcell is pretty old. I know he doesn't look it, but he is pretty old.
Maybe he pulled a Joe West. Okay.
So you said hurt his back. My mind immediately went to Xena because that's how old I am.
They were playing Battlestar Galactica Marathon on Sci-Fi. Now I think they're going over to Xena, and I'm just like, yay! But y'all forgetting Hercules, but it's fine. It's fine. That is the better of the two shows.
We'll just say, Kevin Sorbo made his bed, and we'll leave it at that.
I understand that.
It's.
Honestly, when you talk about great spinoffs, nobody ever mentions freaking Xena. And that pisses me off.
Well, that's because I think most people think of Xena as an original show. I mean, I think you have to remind people that Xena was actually a spinoff of Hercules.
Yeah.
I honestly think, like Xena.
People just forget.
Yeah, I think people forget Hercules, and Xena is just like its own show. I think if a lot of people saw an episode with Xena and Hercules, they go, "Oh, I didn't realize Hercules was a spinoff of Xena," because Xena was way more popular than Hercules.
And
True.
we're how many years out from it too? So
Oh yeah,
it's hear about
I
Xena
don't
probably.
expect that the core demo would know that. People are always like, "Oh yeah, Hercules was a thing that happened."
Oh yeah, but Xena was better.
It was.
Xena was a better story, and
the angel of her day. The angel of her day.
And to be fair,
nerds.
Yeah. Speaking about people who weren't supposed to age, who did?
What about you, Charlie Esser?
I don't.
Comics? I heard there was a
That's why I got to grow the
from
facial hair so I can actually look.
Let's get to comics so we can.
Okay, Tristan, you want to do your review?
Comics Corner.
Okay.
That's right. We got a bunch of old comics, a few new ones, but everyone, we're going to have a review from the up-and-coming superstar, Tristan Esser.
Okay, I'm going to put him on.
In another couple years, he's going to replace his old man.
Yep. Welcome to Capes and Lunatics, the next generation.
Grab Luca. Is he awake? Then you'll just have my dogs. It'll be fine.
Hi.
What's up, Tristan?
Hello. Today I'll be talking about what I thought about the Amazing Spider-Man comic, Carnage and Venom. When I first actually saw this book, the cover art looks like Venom and Carnage are going to team up. But in this book, actually Venom and Carnage fight against each other.
Hey, Tristan, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is that a reprint, or did the old man spring for an original?
Did you all spring for a original, or is it a reprint? It's a original.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it looks extra thick for some reason. Okay.
We have bag and board for it, so she doesn't get mad.
No, Phil asked.
Okay. Anyway, so tell me about the story and what you thought about the characters.
Oh, well, there were a few things I learned about some of these characters. If Johnny Storm is able to, he can actually do a ginormous explosion underwater, which I actually...
Yeah, Nova Blast, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, another thing I learned is that the host feels the same thing as the symbiote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I actually never knew that before.
Yeah, their nervous systems are like connected. Yeah.
And Carnage, like he always is just a sick person.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, a little cameo of the Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, the ad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is original. Looks like, yeah.
The one thing I wonder is that why is there a Ninja Turtles ad in a Marvel comic book?
Because they need that sweet, sweet money.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen, if you paid enough money, you could have an ad in Marvel Comics.
Back in the day, before they were a monolith, you see.
No,
the comic
books we read have ads in them. Just only Marvel ads.
Well, exactly. That's my point.
Ads for them.
We'll talk about that when I get to the 60s comic books.
They have Disney money now. They don't need to take
This
ads.
isn't 60.
No, that's like what year is that?
90.
Philip.
Oh my God, he just hurt my soul.
That's like the 90s.
I don't know when this was made.
Ninja Turtles in the 60s. Somebody school this child, please.
No, not the Ninja Turtles.
I know.
This
We're
comic,
gonna
I just never knew when it came out.
Yeah,
I know it's the 90s. I'll look up an exact date here. I knew we could have money.
You ready to let me come back? Or?
Yeah, you can. I don't know what to talk about.
Hey,
that's fine, but you did a great job.
Hey, Charlie.
Tristan Esser, ladies and gentlemen, Tristan Esser.
Charlie, ask him what letter grade you get. Ask him what letter grade you give it.
Oh, Tristan, what letter grade do you give the comic? A. He says it's an A. There
Nice.
we go.
That's 1992.
1992. Hey, that's your daddy graduated from high school.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I graduated in 1992. Yes, Philip, I know you and Lilith were born in 1992, but I was already an old man by then.
No, I graduated high school in 1996. No, at first I thought you were saying you graduated after me. I was like, wait, no. But no, yeah, that's right. Math work.
It checks out. He did the math, guys. He did the math.
Okay. Yes.
I did the math. All right.
But that was Tristan's review. I'm very proud of him.
All right. So, since the children are doing their reviews, Lilith, you want to throw something out?
Can I? So I tried to give men Asian a chance. I was like, oh, Amanda and Jimmy. Okay.
Oh, wait, the Wonder Woman one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was the Harley Quinn team up with Wonder Woman, yeah.
Yeah, so I get why they got Amanda and Jimmy, but like their writing style just doesn't suit Wonder Woman. But I did love the art by Anaki Miranda. That was great. But
I mean, it wasn't
just
I mean, it wasn't
garbage.
it wasn't the best, but I liked it better than like Harley's solo that they wrote. Maybe because Wonder Woman was in there. I don't know. But I think
not a good team up. I'm very offended.
A lot of all these ones they released this week, I think they said they pulled those from those giant size issues, they put out at Walmart.
Which is weird because Giant Aquaman #4 came out, so
Yeah. Unless it was older ones or something, yeah. Did you read any of the other digital ones they put out this week?
I read them all. But I just had to let you guys know. I would say Wonder Woman, Agent of Peace, even for 99 cents, do not.
All right. Here's my question: out of the 5 this week, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Flash, which one did you like the best?
Ooh, I'd have to almost. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna say Aquaman.
Oh, okay, that was a decent. Yeah,
it's fine.
It was only like 16 pages, but yeah, it was him keeping Black Manta from stealing that cursed artifact from the museum.
I like Steve Orlando doing Aquaman. I do. It's a refreshing change of pace from the other stuff that I well, it takes a certain kind of person to like take Aquaman seriously, though. I don't like when like writers come in and they like to make all the jokes and change all the things,
I mean, the Flash story was good on the cruise ship, with King Shark and everything, but it was kind of weird because it was like a mismatch of like different continuities because it was like comic book Barry, but it was like TV Iris because she was African American. So, and then like, it's like,
welcome to the strange new world of comic books that don't care about continuity. They don't care.
I guess that's one of those Walmart deals, but it's like it wasn't their relationship from the TV show. It wasn't their relationship from the regular comic. So it was like wait, where is this? This isn't the regular comics or the TV show. Where are we?
DC's version of the Ultimate Universe. It can be whatever you want from day one, and leave it to the writers to figure it out. No yellow boxes.
I know. I want editor's notes. Why don't they do editor's notes anymore? For the most part.
Marvel put a copyright on it. What you gonna do?
People would have to do their homework. I'm like, isn't that like the best the way to sell stuff is just like put editor's notes and say, hey, you want to know the backstory on this story or the last time so and so showed up? Hey, go buy this issue.
Well, I think if you actually want an answer, Phil, I would say the reason they don't do that as much anymore is because first off, if they reference something in the 60s, it's going to highlight, that this is a character from 60 years ago, and so it's not really useful to do that. But at the same time, I think a lot of modern comic tales are kind of very contained in the moment of time. I don't think they do a lot of thinking back to, remember last year, and I think when they do an editor's note. I don't think the last time I saw someone reference something that, I think even when it's a last ish, they do say last ish.
I don't see a lot of that anymore. Sometimes they do.
Maybe it's not DC. DC's bad,
Yeah, but I don't think they do it in every Marvel book, though, either, though.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the writer, depends who the editor is or something.
Yeah, I mean, usually I know what they're referencing, so I don't need the asterisk. So it's like,
Well, not everyone has your vast knowledge, Charlie.
I'll tell you what doesn't need an asterisk. Freaking Danny. That's a Ultimate Spider-Man podcast joke. Because, every time they mention the suit.
Oh, yes. because
Danny is
we're doing,
the editor on that one.
we're doing the
Yes.
Black Costume Saga, and every issue they're like, "Hey, see Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars for where this cool new costume came from." Every year.
Every issue.
And then
Why are you saying Danny?
Because that's
Danny-
the editor's name that writes the note. So it's like, thank you, Danny.
Oh, Danny. Oh, Danny.
I think it was
okay.
Fingeroff,
But
yeah,
not Denny,
Yeah.
right? It's not Denny
No,
O'Neil.
No, Danny.
Okay.
Danny Fingeroff, I think. Yeah.
Okay, because see, for me, that's every time I think about editor's notes, I always think of Denny O'Neil, because Denny O'Neil worked on, because Denny O'Neil would do those for GI Joe as a kid, and I just wanted to bring that up because among my haul this week, Justice League number 73, 1967, was it? Or 1968? 1 second. 1969, sorry. And you'll see
take a drink, future.
it is written by the great Denny O'Neil, and actually takes place on Earth 2 for the most part.
Ooh.
We're opening up with the Council of Stars ejecting one of their members, Aquarius, for his embrace of chaos against order. We get, hey, because there's a show coming out, but not really, Starman, who I am believing is related to Stargirl. Am I correct in that? They both got like a cosmic rod.
They're
Although
not
his rod is
related. He passed the torch to her. Whoa, phrasing.
Yeah, she.
He passes the rod
I don't know
to
what it is
her, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, I'm going to say his rod is not as big as her rod. So, who's ever getting up these cosmic rods, that rod got a lot bigger. Look, or maybe just the cosmic rod looks a lot bigger in her hands. So,
nobody tell Rob.
Yeah,
but as you can see, here's the cosmic rod right in his hand, and it's a decent sized rod. If you didn't see a rod like this before, you say, "Oh, that's about how big a rod should be." I'm just saying, Stargirl's rod. It looks a little oversized. It looks like that's not even a practical rod when you think about rods that you're going to use for cosmic energies. Anyway,
I'm just getting a whole page of Charlie Esposito's rod in different ways.
The Weekend Aquarius steals Starman's rod, which then empowers him. Oh, and of course here we have Black Canary, Dana Lance, getting into her costume because before you have to go fight crime in a dangerous situation, make sure you take 10 minutes to put on a good costume.
I mean, what's the point? Did you even fight crime if you didn't put a costume?
Yeah. Well, apparently, for what it's worth, her husband, this dude,
Larry Lance or whatever.
Larry Lance, he's just in his suit the whole time. He doesn't put on a costume.
That's because he's a police officer.
Well, I understand. But he is fighting crime like a real man. He does a great little thing.
He puts on a uniform, same difference.
But he's going to fight crime even in his suit. What, Tristan? What's your question? Make it quick.
This was showcased in Deadpool 2, but in the trailer, I wonder how they're going to get the costume when Deadpool was doing the costume.
Oh, the costume when he changes in the film. Yes, that was done for humor. Anyway, speaking of throwing shade, which is a segue here, which is one of my favorite things here, when we get to Earth 2, our good friend Denny makes a real great point to point out that in Earth 2, Wonder Woman hasn't been depowered.
Ooh. And who depowered her? And who depowered her, Denny?
Yeah, it's just an interesting... I thought it was an interesting point that he's going to make here.
He's like, I understand. I messed up.
Yeah. Well,
hey, that's a baloney factory right there.
In the other book, but here she has stellar powers. Anyway, all of our heroes get distracted on the way to Dinah Lance's call because she sends out a call saying, "Come help," and they'll get distracted by things. This guy, Captain Midnight, that's our cover shot. Is the child gets empowered and smacks him around because apparently Aquarius is empowering random things to delay the superheroes, because he's basically like evil Mr. Mixoplex. He is like if Mr. Mixoplex met Thanos. It's kind of fun. I actually like Aquarius as a villain. I am wondering why DC has not done more with him.
Because no one cares.
Yes, well, exactly. Well, that's the thing is I pick up these issues. They're very random issues. They're a lot of fun. Red Tornado in this is like kind of the Jar Jar Binks of the JLA. I'm sorry, the JSA. Where they, I am just a machine. You do not recognize that. You do not. You think I am a screw up. Even like Superman calls him. You know what, Red Tornado, hold back. You're kind of a screw up.
Come on, to be fair, the old version of Red Tornado is a mess.
Yes,
the new version pretty cool.
I'm sure he is. I like the original Ma Kettle version. The inspiration for Forbush Man. But we're not getting that here. Anyway, Aquarius beats the heck out of Superman because you gotta own him. You gotta wharf Superman. He basically says how he's going to destroy the universe because the cosmic rod, the cosmic rod gives him power.
Yeah, you wrecked that universe with your rod. Doesn't
matter if the rod's not a big rod. It's not the size of your rod. It's how you use it. And basically, Dr. Fate, in a classic, I've seen this gag so many times where things are destroyed, but someone puts the magic bubble around us, and we're the only things keeping things in existence. The Avengers did this with Circe, if you recall, when the universe kept on flipping out.
Oh, yeah.
That was just after Gilgamesh joined them.
Yeah.
Formerly the Forgotten One. Anyway, Red Tornado gets to Earth 1 because he went to Earth 1 because Dr. Fate sent him to Earth 1 to recruit the Justice League to help. And they basically keep Red Tornado like sitting around, not really letting him talk. Adam comes off as a real dip in this, by the way.
Well, you know why. You see the two blokes sitting there, don't you? The biggest a-holes of all time.
Who, Hal Jordan and Bruce Wayne?
Yes.
Yes,
Fight me. I don't care.
Wait, you're talking about Ray's favorite character.
Batman.
Yeah, well, anyway, but finally when he says, yes, my entire universe is being destroyed, maybe we should go do it. They're like, oh, man, we've kept you sitting around here for like 2 weeks. So I guess in the previous books, Red Tornado shows up and says, guys, I got to tell you about this thing in my universe. Like, okay, Red Tornado, whatever. It's like, no. Misa, tell you a big problem in Misa World. And they're like, what? Oh, gee, we screwed up. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, this is what I was talking about with ads. Man, the amount of ads in these books. I got mad about the ads in the Archie books because there were so many, but they were all for Archie books. This is like when you could just have ads for stuff. Someone paid money to put these ads here.
Hey,
So,
I would deal with a ton of ads if every book was like 25 or 50 cents.
Well, this was, speaking of which, this book is 15 cents. There is a whole piece in here in the bullpens or the bulletins section. National Press, brother. This is still National Comics publishing these, or National Publications, where they basically apologize for the increased cost to 15 cents. It's like, we know. It's a lot to ask.
$1.99, they said.
Yeah, well, they were still, and apparently I'm guessing they were like always, that has been DC's model, is just be less expensive. And because, as you see my GI Combat, which I also got, because Haunted Tank versus Attila the Hun, how is that not a story you want to read? And it lives up to the hype, let me tell you that. That was only 12 cents, and this is like a year before this. So they just jacked it up.
3 whole cents.
3 whole cents. But, they say, look, man, things cost more. You're going to realize that. And they basically say, look, man, a candy bar used to be a nickel. Now it's a dime. We're going up 3 cents, dude. Bear with us.
It's a brand new world. We're going to the moon and everything.
Yeah, well, that's the hope, man. That's the hope. GI Combat, man. Here's one thing I want to say, because this is like the oldest book I got, and this is what really strikes me the most about this. Do you see what isn't on our front page?
I hold them in my hand.
What?
Who wrote and drew the book? No credits. There are 2 stories in here. Not a credit to any of them. This is 1960.
No Marvel way, you see?
No, hey, lady, this is DC.
Yeah.
This is 1968. Because, sweetheart, let me tell you something.
Oh, sweetheart.
No, sweetheart. Let me tell you. Marvel, with their big 25-cent book.
Let me tell you, female.
Let me tell you.
Let me mansplain.
In 1967, okay, Marvel is already at 25 cents. Well, now this is Marvel Tales, which is like a 4-story book. I only had time to read 3 of them. And everybody gets a credit in it, you know. All the new stories. Who doesn't get credits? When we do our reprint from the 50s, I will never know who created Marvel Boy.
Oh,
this knowledge is lost to history.
It's still up there on Uranus.
Yes. Well, you know, it came fully formed from Uranus. that is the argument that may be made.
Dakota button.
If you want Uranus jokes out your butt, go check out. Well, it's on YouTube right now. So when it hits the podcast, check out Quantum Zone episode 112.
Yeah. But anyway, so Marvel Tales. Our first story is a Spider-Man story where basically Spider-Man. This is the one where he kind of like gives up being Spider-Man, but still dresses as Spider-Man on occasion.
Gotta be more specific.
Okay.
It's the story where he says, "Great power, great responsibility."
Well, no, actually, although I love this part here where like Otto doesn't even mention that he actually did beat Spider-Man once first. But he's just like, I should have been the one to defeat Spider-Man because Green Goblin in like the previous issue got Spider-Man to run. But the reason Spider-Man's running is because, you know, see, people don't know Aunt May used to be frail.
Yeah,
she used to be. Oh yeah, she makes a joke here about how she feels like a spry old 60-year-old all of a sudden. Spry is a 60-year-old. That's later when she's recuperating. But the entire idea is like, you know, Spider-Man has like given up being a Spider-Man because he has to be there for Aunt May because she's so frail and sickly. And you know who the real hero of this book is, Phil?
Who?
I'll give you one guess. Who's the one person that would never desert Spider-Man when he needed him most? Flash Thompson.
I wouldn't want to hang out with me neither.
He puts up, because he is so mad at everyone saying Spider-Man's a coward. He's saying, if Spider-Man is running from fights, he's got a reason. And he tells Liz that he is going to go put on a Spider-Man costume to try and, you know, so people know Spider-Man's still out there and that if he ever gets in trouble, the real Spider-Man will show up. He picks a fight with 3 car thieves who he figures he could take anyway. They're not superpowered people, but there's 3 of them, and there's only one Flash Thompson, and they do beat the stuff out of them. And Peter,
I guess
he's
they
running there
didn't
to
fight him.
Yeah, he's running to save them, but still can't. So, you know, it basically it's all bad. It's all rough for poor Peter. Even Flash is questioning his devotion to him. This is I wonder how many times he has thrown away, but this one he actually like puts it in a little box in a bag and crushes it, throws it in the trash can. Gets out later.
Is that amazing number 50 when he put? I think is that when he puts it in the trash can. Well, he gets Amazing Spider-Man 50.
Yeah. Anyway, but basically, you know, Aunt May gives him the pep start. You know, it's like, look, you know, Parkers ain't quitters, so. Quit being a whiny little person, Peter. You know what I found also very interesting about this? Do you know what Mary Jane's last name is?
It's not Watson.
It is not. It is Watkins.
Another
Anna Watkins,
yeah.
And it's too bad Anna Watkins' niece isn't in. Wait, Watkins?
Oh, that's a Stan Lee blunder. I mean, in one of the first ever issues, he calls him Peter Palmer.
Yeah, I just want to believe that
And
there's
worst of all, Peter Palmer. You know what I'm saying, kids? You know what I'm saying?
I just find that fascinating because what's interesting about this is I do wonder if this is the first time they start talking about MJ. I have to look this up now because it's like it is so offhanded, and he doesn't even acknowledge it. So it's not even like it doesn't seem like it's a trope. Oh, they keep on mentioning, Anna Watkins' niece. So it's very interesting.
Maybe because Aunt May mentions for a while. She's like, "Oh, you have to meet Anna's niece."
Dude, that buildup was horrendous. I will give you that. Like,
I know because Aunt May's like, "Oh, she has a great personality." So Peter's like, "Oh, she must be a dog."
Yep.
And then she shows up, face the tiger, hit the jackpot.
Yes. Although they use the word tiger in here also, but not by her. Then we get Marvel Boy in the Lost World, which, as we know, is starts off on Uranus. Actually, it doesn't start off on Uranus. It starts off in the ocean where many people are dying because the continent is rising. And man, talk about your pre-comics code books. Everybody is dying left and right. There are tidal waves that are killing people. This is like Man of Steel level destruction.
Oh,
it is amazing, and they're just like, "Yep." And then all the people on that ship died. And our villain of the piece is this Count Varro, who has been disowned by every country in the world, and the country of his birth, Bosnia, doesn't exist anymore. Hasn't existed for 30 years. So he claims this new continent because, for himself, because, as we all know, international law says whoever first explores a continent owns the continent, lock, stock, and barrel.
Finders keepers, yes.
Finders keepers, but then we see there actually are a race of blue-skinned beings who live on this continent already. And as we also know, if people already live there, if there is a native population, they own the land. That's just international law, right, Lilith?
Give them blankets with yellow fever. It's fine.
Well, that seems to be Varro's... This was the civilized 1950s, Lilith. We don't do that sort of thing anymore.
Yeah, we don't drop diseases on people anymore, Lilith. What are you talking about?
Anyway.
Yeah, biological warfare. Out of the question. Okay.
So Count Varro decides that they'll just kill all the... And they don't say who they are, but I have to believe these are the Lemurians. And I love the fact that they made them blue. Which is how they had depicted the Atlanteans prior to this. Which shows that even though they're not calling it out in the book, they are still maintaining a consistency within their universe about what beings that lived underwater would look like. So I appreciate that kind of thing. Plotline. After Varro's people shoot all the Lemurians, they decide, Prothus, who is their leader, says he wants to be friends with people, believes that people are good. Varro puts an end to that thought, and then they decide to go back under the ocean and never return, which I'm sure didn't last long. But then all of Varro's people die. Well, actually, Varro causes it to sink because he tries to blow up the access port, the cave that the Lemurians were living in. And in doing so, actually causes an earthquake. Then him and his people start to drown. But Varro has gone mad with power. Says, "No, it is my land. It is my land, and I will die." And then he does. But yeah, so I really love everything about Marvel Boy in this. They have this whole thing about how because he had grown up on Uranus, he'll be a little bit stronger and a little bit faster than most humans, and of course has his telepathy powers. But that if he doesn't take a special pill every so many hours, he will become weak and sick, which you don't want. Even though he's a human, so why basically biochemically, he is completely screwed up.
Yeah, that's what we asked on the Quantum Zone, because they said, yeah, he, when he was a baby, him and his father went to Uranus, and it's like they grew up there, and then when he turns 17, he comes back to Earth, and he's like, oh, I'm weaker on Earth. We're like, why? He's biologically human. Why would Earth make him weak?
Well, and Philip, if you read Agents of Atlas, you know that this is actually
they retconned it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's actually a Uranian. And Uranians do not look human at all. But in the moment, the idea is that, look, he's lived on Uranus this whole time. He's adjusted to Uranus's chemistry. So as a Uranian, he's faster and stronger than an average human.
Yes.
But it's sort of like a reverse of the whole yellow sun thing with Superman. When he's on Earth for too long, he is going to start to get weaker because it's just not what his body's used to.
And if you want to hear more Marvel Boy, next couple of weeks we'll be talking Marvel Boy on the Quantum Zone.
Oh, great!
On the Quantum Zone. Listen, for that joke. Lilith.
Okay.
Lilith, you know what Charlie bought but didn't read yet? An issue of Quasar.
Yes, I do.
I heard that.
Well, I actually didn't buy it. This one was free. So.
Wow. With Quasar stuff.
It was. Hey, every so often they throw up a free one just to entice you at my comic shop. And they said, "Who wants to grab it?" And I said, "Oh, Quasar, let me grab it." And it's Quasar versus Kismet, or meets Kismet, or collision with Kismet. And the Hive is in it, and I'm excited about that because I love the Hive.
Yep.
Have you read this book? This is 57, Quasar 57.
Please, yeah, I have the whole series. Yeah.
I don't know, like recently, I've read a lot of books. I don't remember what I've read, but
yeah, it's toward the end of the series because it ended at 60. So yeah, toward the end.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about this book. We've got the Cocoon. I don't know if her is in this. If this has something to do.
Well, Kismet is her. So.
Oh, Kismet is her. Yes. Okay. So what? Because I know you have him who becomes Warlock. I thought he should have stayed with him. I liked him better as a name. I like when he just had the Speedos. Didn't have to be all Adam Warlock. I didn't need him to go through a goth phase. That's all I'm saying.
It's unavoidable. Everybody secretly goes through a goth phase, whether it's just painting your nails black or wearing guy liner. Everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway. Starlin.
Starlin. Anyway, so I'm very excited. So that will be something we'll talk about next week.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah. Yeah, but that's what I read this week. GI Combat was a good book, but man, just weird. And again, it's these kind of things that we're like, man, they just didn't realize like how controversial having a main character be a Confederate general would be, like 6 years later. It's like I was watching the Waltons the other day, and there's a whole storyline about like everyone all upset because there's a possibility that this noble Confederate general once gave aid and comfort to Yankees, and they were so upset about that. I'm like, Walton's Mountain was not a nice place. It's like, gee, I'm starting to completely rethink how wholesome this whole storyline is. So, yeah, like, oh, Yankees. Ugh. It's like, yeah, because they're like the people that didn't want to own people. So,
but no, speaking of, you were talking about
only because they had factories and other means. Just saying.
What? No, you're talking
why
about
own the Irish when you can rent them? That was the Northerners' view.
Wow. But no, you're talking old Spider-Man. I mean, it's not that old, but it's like a retelling. Spider-Man Blue. That's like the only other thing I read besides those DC books this week. I had never read Spider-Man Blue before, Lilith.
Really? Why?
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Yeah, it's like a retelling of like back when the Green Goblin first unmasked Spider-Man, and they battle, and Norman comes down with his usual case of amnesia. Lilith.
He's an Osborn. What do you want?
It basically goes through, when Peter first meets Gwen and Mary Jane, and like those two are like competing for him and stuff. And
I'm just shocked you haven't read it. Like
I know I haven't. So I saw it, and I was like, you know what? I never read this. Let me read this. So I bought the trade digitally. Yeah.
You know why they come down with amnesia, right?
the hair, right?
No, because it's what King Tut used to do to Batman all the time.
Oh, hit him on the head.
You know, I have amnesia. I don't remember the crimes I've committed. You cannot hold me accountable.
Well, yeah,
Or my steel boulder.
Well, yeah, and after in the first issue, after their big battle, and Osborn gets the amnesia, he pulls a Cosby. He's like, "Oh, I have to go to the hospital. I cannot bear it." It's like,
yes.
He's in the hospital.
But that's how you do it, man. I have no recollection of these crimes you say I committed. I was under the influence of the goblin gas.
So it's
goblins.
Yeah, the story's good. I mean, it takes place around those Stan Lee, John Romita Sr. issues. Peter moves in with Harry Osborn, and
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I like that team of Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale.
Those are the college years.
That's right. The
lost years, some would say.
Well, no, because what I'm going to say is, like, this one is actually high school Peter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
High school Peter, who is so much fun.
Who's a total pleb. Ugh.
He is trying to make his way in Queens with a sick aunt. Who is not as sick as this is actually one of these things I was feeling about it. We can talk about this a little bit more in Superconnectivity, but
he was the king of Queens.
I miss like Aunt May being having problems, being frail and sickly. I miss it. It's like, yeah, okay, great. Silver Tiger, Grey Panther, Aunt May, it's fine. But it's like part of his storyline was like, dude, my aunt is dying. And I need to that was actually a big part of it.
She's 45. She can kick the bucket any minute now.
Yeah, how many issues can you drag out an 80-year-old Aunt May, Charlie?
Fair enough.
When time doesn't move.
Yeah.
I mean, Amazing Spider-Man's 800 some issues in. Oh, she could die at any moment.
Yeah,
he should have let her die, but. No, when she got youthful and sprightly, right, Charlie?
The
whole Mephisto makeover.
Oh yeah,
Mephisto.
Oh, there you go, man. Mephisto. Well, hey.
Wait a minute.
If you're gonna bring her back to life,
what?
Mephisto. Yeah. So yeah, apparently that's why. That makes perfect sense. If you're gonna do, and for what it's worth, maybe that's what MJ whispered. Could you not have her be on death's door constantly? Just let Peter have a life. Let Aunt May not be dying every issue.
You reinforce those tests. Thank you.
Yes,
she does get around.
Yes. So that I think.
Oh!
And really, for what it's worth, I guess what we can probably say is that, like, oh, man, could this be like a gigantic cosmic conspiracy that basically, by getting Peter Parker to make a deal with him, he's basically gained access to the entire web of the Spider-Verse and, like, can now influence all time and space?
And he's already taken out the world's best hero, Superior Spider-Man.
Wow, has he though?
He regressed him.
Charlie's still holding on to that hold.
Have you seen Rick and Morty? Have you seen Project Phoenix?
Exactly.
He's got 6 more on the tank. Superior will be back. It's remember when Ultron created an Ultron who didn't get downloaded with Ultron's memories. So he was just an AI, but he didn't have all of Ultron's baggage.
Yeah, it was like Ultron 12 or 13 or something.
Yeah, it was something like that. But it was like an Ultron that tried to work out a deal with Hank. It's like, look, man, I don't know what the guy who built me thing with you is, dude. I just want to live my life. And
yeah,
and so I get the feel that Anna Marie is gonna pull out one of the old Tolliver clones and jam it up with some memory tapes, and there you go. 1940s technology at its finest.
The living brain.
The living brain. He's in there, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. When you can break the brain down to data, then you can have 1 million copies of it.
True. All right. Anything else comics-wise, people?
Ooh, but fun fact, that actually suggests that the Doc Ock that is out there now might actually be the original Doc Ock that got freed from heck by Mephisto.
Well, yeah, Mephisto's magic. He can put the original...
No, but I mean, he could, like, actually, instead of, like, letting him come back, actually put the soul of the original Doc Ock in him. Ooh, this could get to be a much more interesting story. I'm just saying.
Charlie, yes, sir.
You've awakened my connections, Philip.
Well,
thanks for reminding me.
Well, let's end this so we can get to your super connections.
Yes, I don't have as many this week, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see how long that lasts. Maybe, only.
Bill's gonna fall from that one.
He never does. I mean, he's half asleep. He's still. Oh, my mind is churning.
It churns a lot.
Like butter.
Ooh, on that
like
note.
butter.
All right, so everyone, send your thoughts. TV, comics, the whole diamond thing. Hey, send your praise for Mr. Tristan Esser. And tell his father to buy more comics so he can do more reviews.
I will.
He even sprung for an original. What a dad. Anyway, email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow us on social media. Follow the YouTube channel. All of it, all in one convenient place. That's Linktree. That's linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support the sponsors, Tweaked Audio, Hunt a Killer, Pod Life the book, now in digital and paperback. And when you buy everything in this new apocalypse world, and you go on Amazon, because you know you do, use the Southgate Media Group link right down there in the show notes. Doesn't matter if it's YouTube or the podcast, right down there in the show notes. And send some money to keep these shows on the air. Put some money in the pocket of Rob Masterfield Southgate.
Go back and look at my history, and you will find out I am right so much more often than I'm wrong. Mark my words.
Lilith Hellfire.
You nerds want to hang out on the interwebs? You can find me on Twitter @Lilith Hellfire or on Instagram @Lilith Hellfire69. Total package.
You are the total package, Lilith Hellfire. Charlie Esther.
Well, if you'd like to write to me in an old-fashioned email way, the way our mothers and fathers once did, to discuss how big of a cosmic control rod you really need, write me at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitters at LiveTweet, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's back, baby, @Chaliessa. That's CHARLIESSER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing.
Thank you, Maz.
Who am I?
There's a thin line between.
Thank you for joining us once again for another week. Everyone else, the comics, the TV may have abandoned you, but we have not. And who are we? We are the Capes.
Ampersand.
Lunatics.
What, did you want Tristan to do it? I don't know.
Lunatics.
No. Oh.
Ampersand. I don't know. Capes.
Your Capes? There, we did.
There you go.
Okay. You clicked on the show, you know what it's called.
Forward, backward, up and down. You know.
Inside, outside, upside down.
Your classic 69.
I hold them in my hand.
Or L7.
Come back next time. Who knows what will happen? But we're the only entertainment in town now. Fight you nerds.
All right, boys. Have